Hello, I'm Blagoje and welcome back to my channel. In this video I'm going to show you how to create YouTube subscriber count display with embedded ESP32 microcontroller and round LCD display. We have a couple of steps to do this, but first is to create YouTube API in order to get this information. There is a lot of tutorials on how to do this online, so I would link in description below the tutorial that I used, but in simple terms you just need to log into your Google Development portal, create new project, and then enable YouTube Data API battery. Then you need to create API keys. This is simply done by clicking on Manage and creating new credentials. After this, because we are using ESP32, which can be programmed with Arduino firmware, there are a couple of libraries that we need to use. First library is lvgl and the other one is YouTube API. All the other libraries are needed for these two libraries, so these two are our main libraries, and of course we have separate UI that is shown here. So after we installed lvgl library and YouTube API library with all necessary libraries, we now can start developing our Arduino sketch. This sketch was basically created by combining two examples. Example from lvgl library when you're going to Arduino, lvgl Arduino. So this is basic sketch to start with around LCD display using lvgl library, and the other example that is used to create this sketch is Arduino API ESP32 channel statistics. So this is the other sketch. By combining those two sketches we came to this solution. So if we just go over this, we have, so here we are including everything that we need. We are including lvgl library, we are including SPI communication to our display, and of course we are including custom GUI library which I created for especially this project. It's a simple round display GUI with one arc and one label here, so that's basically it. Then we are including YouTube API library, which in order to connect to the internet and get this information and data needs these three libraries. So Wi-Fi client secure, and Arduino JSON in order to pass data that it receives. In order to add this data to our GUI, we basically need to import external variables that are arc and label. Here we are defining a screen resolution, and now we can basically start by initializing the functions that we need for our display. So we have a function that is called display flash, and basically that's it. This part now is important. This part now is linked to YouTube API example, and here we need to define our SSID and the password from the local Wi-Fi network in order to connect to the internet. And of course we need to add API keys and channel ID in order to get subscriber count data. Then we can start with void setup loop. Here we are basically initializing our display. This is everything from example, and then here we are initializing our GUI. Then after that we are setting the arc value and the label value to 0, which is initial value. After this, we are starting our Wi-Fi and trying to connect to the Wi-Fi network with this SSID and the password. If we are successful, we can continue with the main loop. Then we can start with the main loop, and again from YouTube API example, we can see that we simply need to call API get channel statistic channel ID. And with this, we have everything that we need. This will populate our data with all kinds of stuff, but for this example, we only need to get subscriber count. When we have this subscriber count, we simply can pass that data into arc value and into our label value. Of course, when we get this data, it's not needed to check this every second, every minute, and so on. So here I'm extending the delay between checks first time when we have the valid data to 60 minutes. I think that nothing will change in 60 minutes dramatically in order for your subscriber count, so I think this is a very good thing to increase this time between requests once when you have the valid data. And that's basically it. If we have some errors reading, this will say subscriber error, and then next runtime will be incremented for this time between requests. And at the end, we need to call lv timer handler in order to let our GUI to work. So let's now see how this is working in action. After power up, we see that display is first uninitialized. Then we have initialized display with the value of 0, and then we are waiting for our YouTube API to return us the value of our subscriber count. And that is it. This was a very interesting side project that I created in one evening, and I'm hoping that you were intrigued by it and that you can manage to do something like this by yourself. Detailed description will be linked down below, and see you in the next one.